The agricultural revolution in Britain. Agricultural, what does that mean? What is agriculture? Agriculture is farming and the methods used in raising and looking after the crops and animals on the farm, okay? Revolution, what is revolution? Revolution, the basic meaning is the successful attempt by a large group of people to change the political system of their country by force. But the other meaning is an important change in human society. So in this case, it would mean the important change in agriculture. All right, what is this? Since the very early time of human society, the large part of the number of people have been doing agriculture, farming, okay? This was true for England until the 18th century. Then a series of changes in farming took place, and the result in the end was it required less labor, but it at the same time produced more than needed food. Do you understand? Simultaneous means happening at the same time. Surplus is more of something than needed. This made it possible for the well-fed people, number of people, to grow fast, and many of these people had no connection to land. Had no tie. Tie means connection. Tie means to join two things together. Okay. With ropes or threads. Okay. Tying. Like tying your shoelace. And as a result, a large number of people began looking for work in the cities, and they found those work. Why? Because there was the Industrial Revolution. What is this Industrial Revolution? What is industry? Industry is the process of making things, collecting raw materials and making things in a large quantity in a factory, okay? So Industrial Revolution was the transformation, the change in the 18th and 19th century, first in Britain and then in Western Europe and in the United States. Of the nations becoming an industrialized nation. Do you understand? That means they began producing things in a factory rather than individually. All right. And one of the main reasons that this industrial revolution began in England is that the country had a large number of people who can work available to work with the machinery in the factory. Okay. Okay. Interestingly, many historians say that the industrialization of England wouldn't have been possible without the agricultural revolution, which happened before it. Okay. Precede means to happen before something. Pre means what? Before, okay? So what is this part about? This part is about the people. A lot of people were engaging in farming, okay? And it was true only until the 18th century for England. And a lot of changes happened, and after that, the change was that it required less labor, but it produced more food. So the population grew fast, and these people had nothing to do with the land, which is farming. So the result was the people looking for work in cities because, and they found that because of the Industrial Revolution. The important reason why Industrial Revolution started in England is that England had a large workforce available, and a lot of historians say that the industrialization of England would not have been possible without the agricultural revolution, which was before that industrial revolution. Do you understand? Okay, let's go to the next part. The success of agriculture in England was caused by four factors. If you attribute A to B, you say or believe that B caused A. Do you understand? The factors were surrounding the fields with barriers such as fences, and they rotated the crop they grew on land, and they took better care of the animals, and the tools, farming tools, were mechanized. Okay? Enclose means to surround something, or surround something by something, or put that inside something. Enclose. Do you understand? Like if you enclose a letter inside an envelope. Okay. Rotation means taking turns. All right, taking turns. And husbandry is taking care of the animals, especially when it's done well and carefully. Mechanization means cause machines to do the work which was done by people before, manually, all right? Implements are tools or equipment. For a few hundred years, farmers in England were allowed to let their animals were allowed to feed their animals with the grass on shared land. All right. Graze means to let the animals eat grass on a piece of land. All right. Common means shared. Actually, these lands belong to the British government. But the government allowed the people to use them. Crown is the government of a country which has kings, or which has a king or a queen. Okay. Subject is something that is done something. Right. For example, a subject of an experiment is the thing that has done the experiment, like a mouse, all right? Or it can be a person. Or a subject for drawing is what you draw, something that is being drawn. So, and the people who are governed by a king or a queen are called subjects too. Do you understand? Okay. But in the late 18th and early 19th centuries, laws were made by the government that didn't allow the farmers using the millions of acres of land that they have been using before. Enacted, laws were enacted. Enact means to make something into a law. Act means the law passed by the government. Acre is the unit of measurement, unit of measuring the area of land. It's like 1 acre is like 400 and something square kilometers, so it's quite a large area of land. The land was actually enclosed. Quite literally. What does literal mean? Literal means the most basic sense of a word or a phrase. So if I say, I'm literally dying, that means I'm not in a, it's not to say that I'm in a difficult situation. It means I'm actually dying. Do you understand? And in some cases, the farmers were allowed to use the land if they paid to get the fields that were fenced in, but the prices were too expensive for most of them. Fence in means to make a fence around an area. Okay. Steep means at a very large angle. Okay. At a very sharp angle is steep, and in this case it means expensive when you talk of a price. These laws made tens of thousands of people to leave farming by force, all right? And so after that, they moved to towns and cities to get work. Subsequent means happening after something, right? Sequent means following in order. So England suddenly had a large number of people that looked for work, and they found it when the Industrial Revolution began, because there were many factories being built. Do you understand?